Being prepared for an interview is essential to put yourself above the competition. Having some knowledge about what the interviewers will ask and knowing how to respond to these questions will help you get a second interview and possibly the position. Practice answering these questions and make sure you're not sounding like you're reading from a script. My favorite question to always ask is, how did you prepare for this interview today? You're going to tell them how you researched the company on the internet. Perhaps you looked at their website, did a Yahoo or Google search, checked on them through Dun & Bradstreet or another business reference service. For those companies that are publicly traded, you can get great information online through MSN.com or other financial research engines. What the hiring manager does not want to hear is that you went out and bought a new outfit or meditated for 30 minutes. Keep it about business. Tell me about yourself. This is a very straightforward question that can sometimes lead down the wrong path. Talk about your logical progression. Tell them how you got to this point in your career, what your career goals are as it pertains to their business. They do not want to know about your husband, your wife, your kids, your partner, your religious convictions, or anything of a personal nature. Keep this short and sweet and stay focused. What are your greatest strengths? This is really important. Too many people think that they're bragging and they have a hard time with this one. Examples are good, especially if you solved a business problem, streamlined systems and processes, and added to the organization. What are your weaknesses? This question is a killer for most applicants. You should always have more strengths than weaknesses. Have one example to cite and how you worked on turning it into a strength or how you're working on turning it into a strength. What were your major contributions to your last company? How do you feel you can contribute to this company? How quickly will you be able to contribute to this company? Cite specific examples of how you positively affected your last company. Relate these to how you can increase productivity for your prospective employer. How did you help your department? If you can show you were valuable in your previous positions, it will help the interviewer see that the company can expect the same kind of results from you. You're going to want to have a few examples, both quantifiable and qualifiable. What are your career goals, short and long term? How does this position fit into your goals? How does your current skill set fit within these goals? How have your career goals changed over the years? The interviewer is looking to see how logical you are in your career goals and how you plan on attaining them. If your long-term goal is to be an English teacher and you're applying to become a mailroom manager, odds are this is going to be a difficult question to answer. Ideally, you're making some good job and life choices, and there's a logical progression between what you've done, what you're looking at doing, and what your future holds. What are some of your most significant accomplishments in your past job, in your career, personally? You should elaborate on some of your key accomplishments that are already on your resume. How do you work under pressure? What would you consider your management style? What difficulties do you have managing people? How do you handle pressure? How do you handle several projects at the same time with high deadlines? The interviewer is trying to see how much work you can handle and how you deal with it. As for turning weaknesses into strengths, you should be as positive as possible. When dealing with weaknesses, always explain the progressions that you've made to improve. One example, I had a lot of work on my plate and was unclear of the priorities. I spoke with my manager and he or she clarified my duties in order of importance. This shows you are not afraid to ask for help and when to ask for it. How would you describe yourself? How do your colleagues describe you? How about your boss? Try to be as honest yet as positive as possible. Go back and watch the video on strengths and use some of these words as descriptions. Do you consider yourself to be a team player? Do you work well with your colleagues or do you prefer working independently? As always, being able to work with others is extremely important. Show how you worked within a team and contributed to it. How do you feel about your current or last position? What do you like about it? What do you dislike about it? Why are you leaving? How did you feel about your boss? The interviewer is looking for relevant experience you've had with your current position, including the management style and how it relates to the position you've applied for. Talk about your experiences with your duties, how you worked with others, and so on. Although you should always be as honest as possible, stay positive and do not badmouth your former employer or boss. Stay objective. Why should we hire you for this position? What skills do you bring to this company? What are your analytical skills? What are your problem-solving skills? Are you more intuitive or logical? What computer equipment skills do you have? Employers are looking to hire the best candidate for any position. This person would need to work well within the framework that's already established in the company, as well as show that they'll work the hardest for them. Let the interviewer know how you went above and beyond the call of duty in your career. Focus on your experience, your work ethic, and how you relate to your peers. What attracted you to our company, the position? What interests you the most? What interests you the least? How do you hope to benefit from this company or job? What characteristics do you think are required for this job? Here you're going to list the items that you found interesting about the position and the company. Why are you changing jobs or careers? What do you look for in a job? What other positions are you considering? Potential employers like to know why you're leaving your current position or changing careers. It helps them to determine any risk factors there may be in hiring you. Again, it's important to stay upbeat and positive. What type of salary would you expect for this type of position? The salary question is always the touchiest question. There's a couple of schools of thought. Some say that salary shouldn't be discussed at the first interview, and if brought up, answer it in such a way to express that you're finding out about the job and how you might fit in within the company. Others say you should know what the salary range is for similar positions within the industry, and if they still want to know what you expect, give them the industry standard range. You should deal with this question in a way that's comfortable to you. Why were you fired, terminated, let go? This has to be one of the hardest questions to answer because it usually brings up emotional feelings or feelings of self-doubt. If you were fired because of poor performance, you may want to share how you believe that you did the best that you could and that you have spent a lot of time reflecting on how you can be a better employee in the future. If there was a conflict between you and another employee or manager, state in a very matter-of-fact tone that although you feel this was unfair, it was clear that your services at the company were not a good fit for you or them. The most important aspect of this is letting the interviewer know that you are a positive person and that you've learned from the experience.